Hello everyone, GeneralApple here with the house in Fata Morgana part 26. And last time I played, we finally managed to convince the swordman to come to our side and actually give us his key. So we did great. We also, towards the end, seen a little bit of the Lord, which is, Jacopo. I assume that is his name in this current version. I mean, this is the original one. So, but he looks exactly the same as he used to be. That being said, he does seem crueler. So I wonder what's his story all about. He's the hardest one to convince after all. So yeah, let's just continue right where we left off. Also, apologies if I have a slight noise from my AC. Again, it's hot as hell in here. Dun, dun. Alright. I agreed to the Lord's terms. A couple days later, I made my way out to the location the Lord had given me, a small cottage by a lake where the witch was said to live. I had been instructed to take her alive, but not that I wasn't allowed to harm her, so my plan was to force my way in and immobilize her as soon as she opened the door. The Lord was right. I didn't have anything resembling a conscience. I was too far gone to be bothered by the prospect of disabling a witch. Not even the fact that I had found a degree of solace in my relationship with Pauline would change that. Oh my. However, who's there? When I heard the witch voice through the door, I froze. It was the girl from 4 years earlier. I didn't even have to see her. I knew right away. I wouldn't mistake that voice, that stream of pure, clear water cutting through the grime for anything. I would never forget the first thing that had ever managed to surpass my desire, my first tether. When the Lord told me about the witch, I never once expected it to be her. Who is it? Are you the witch with the miracle blood? My hand rested on the hilt of my sword. I had, at first, meant to break down the door if she wouldn't open it for me. Please leave. However, when I heard that voice, my hand fell limp. Please stay away from my home. I am in need of your blood. Could you not spare a little? I have nothing to spare for a man like you. My blood is only for the sick and needy. So please go away. Stay away from me, I'm begging you. Get away from this place. You're a murderer. I want nothing to do with you. So please, just go away. As you say. As she had commanded, I took my leave of her cottage in somewhat of a haze. It should have come as no surprise, but in the 4 years since our last encounter, she had no kind words left to spare me. Yet even in her derision, I still felt myself being calmed by the sound of her voice. I debated with myself. Should I do as the Lord requested and capture her? Or should I let her go free, as I had done 4 years earlier? You already know what I decided to do though, don't you? That's right, I went with the first option. After all, I had no need for two tethered. While breaking down her door was still an option, the witch was wary of me. If she were to somehow manage to escape, there was no saying how the Lord might react. So I stood watch, waiting for her to step outside. The problem was, she never opened her door. It wasn't just me. It seemed she was wary of everyone. There was one exception though. The boy. She left a cottage for him. They went on walks together and around the lake. It's been a while since we last went on one of our walks, huh? I haven't been sleeping much, taking care of Nellie. Is her condition worsening again? Yeah. Rest assured, I will give her my blessing as many times as she needs. Thanks. I really appreciate it. The weather's kind of not that great today, huh? Looks like we might get rain. It's probably not smart to stay outside much longer. Yesterday, I should get going. See you. Watching the two of them, it occurred to me that I could make a good use of the boy. You have two options. Either you say no and protect the witch, get away, or you help me capture her. Get away from her right now. And if you choose the witch, I kill the girl. Get away. Make your decision. Get away from her. You have until the count of 10. If you don't choose, I kill the girl. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, I'll do it. I'll help you. So get your sword out of her face. Don't kill her. I thought you held out until the last second. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get going. Get moving. You pitiful little boy. Oh god. Why do I have to experience all this pain again? No! Oh my god. Even if they do ask for forgiveness, she still has no arm. So unfortunate. Get back. No. Stay away from me. No. Help. Don't kill me. Take it. Well, that's your share. Should last you long enough. Why? Why did you take my arm? What do you mean by share? Oh my god. I have to relive all of this. Ah, pain again. My arm. My arm. No, put me down, please. Help, someone please help. The witch with the miracle blood had regressed into an ordinary girl as she cried in pain like a small child. I wasn't going to get very far with her railing, so I gagged her, tied her up, and threw her into a burlap sack. Dude. My god, man, my hate for him is everlasting. Truly do hate him. Nothing personal. I just need your blood. Without it, she'll lose her church. She needs the money. I needed some way of getting enough money to keep her church running. So the Lord made me an offer. If I brought him the witch with the miracle blood, he would finance a whole new church for her. So don't take it personally. I tossed the sack into the cart I had waiting outside, then made my way to the mansion as per the Lord's instructions. The two of us then locked the witch in the observation tower. When I told the Lord I had used the boy as bait to get her to open the door, he gave an exasperated sigh and said, "Involving a third party was not part of the plan. Is there anything at all in that head of yours, dog?" Always kill him, dog. I can kill him if that's a problem. Don't be hasty. Describe him for me. Did he seem like he came from a wealthy family? He's young, still in his teens. He lives with a little sister. He looked reasonably well off, probably of noble blood. You picked one hell of a target to use as your bait. Should I kill him? There are people in this world you can make disappear quietly. People no one will notice have gone missing. You're one of them. The boy, he most likely isn't. Was the boy at all interested in the witch's blood? He seemed to be. Well, that makes things a little easier. We just have to make him into an accomplice then. Dude, Jacopo is so evil in this one. That's everything up to about 6 months ago. You know what happens next, I presume. I threatened Mel, forced him to join us. He needed the blood for his sister, but even without that excuse, he didn't have the courage to run. Me, on the other hand, I involved myself of my own will. I had no reason to try to get back out. In fact, being put in charge of one of the three keys gave me an excuse to meet up with her more often. The arrangement was quite beneficial for me. Hey, I learned the news. I heard the news. You were selected to be part of the Lord Personal Guard? Now you've got it made. Congratulations. You exaggerate. It's nothing. Oh, now, no need to be humble. We wouldn't have picked you. He wouldn't have picked you if he didn't really trust you. Everyone around here knows just how hard it is to earn the Lord's trust. If you say so. It hasn't been easy for him, I hear. He only assigns those he really trusts to work so close to him. Huh. I hope you're right. He trusts you, I'm sure of it. I certainly can't tell her the real reason I suddenly became his guard. And I've got some more exciting news too. The Lord sent a messenger for me earlier. Apparently, he's building a new church and he wants me to serve as a nun there. Can you believe it? You shouldn't be surprised. You are the city saint after all. It's a little wonder you would be his first choice. It's little wonder. I really don't think I'm that important. Do you not want the position? No, I'm delighted to have such an incredible opportunity. This will allow me to help so many more people than before. It's wonderful news. That's good to hear. Tell me, I'm not wrong in thinking helping people is the only thing you want more than anything else, am I? Right. That's what I want more than anything in the world. I see. Hey, smile for me, would you? Huh? I've been smiling this whole time, haven't I? Not just now. Forever. Of course, when I'm with you, nothing could possibly take the smile off my face. I'm glad to hear it. Oh wow. It was how romantic. Morgana. She suffers. I never knew someone could lose so much weight while still eating every day. We might have to increase your portions. If there's anything in particular you want, just tell me. I hear children's voices. From outside, I hear children's voices. Ah, the kids here to see the saintess. It has gotten quite noisy out of there of late, yes. Oh, the saintess? Your voice has gotten raspy too. Was that my doing? Did I take your voice? That's unfortunate. To me, your voice held far more value than your blood. And I took that away from you. Yes, you three took everything from me. So we did. Dude, I hate them. Enough chatter, dog. It never stops being funny how we just randomly call him dog. It's so odd. But it's just a show of character, I guess. The Lord's scheme was a success. The witch's blood brought with it an influx of donations, which the Lord invested in various businesses in the city. I have no idea if the blood actually has miraculous powers, but there were certainly people claiming to have been healed by it. It wasn't long before people who weren't sick started making use of the supposed cure-all medication, saying it had preventative properties as well. As the word of the elixir spread, the Lord's profit grew in kind. One fact was undeniable. The witch's blood stimulated the city's dramatic growth. Yeah, you can only assume there was a boom to the economy. So many people probably flocked in. And that's everything. Appalling, is it not? I almost said the exact opposite. Morgana. If you hate me for what I did to her, you can take this sword and kill me with it. And you can have my key. I won't put up a fight. You have the right to exact punishment on me. Killing you would accomplish nothing. It is neither my place to forgive nor punish you. As much as it would make me feel better. Doing so would serve no meaningful purpose. I would like you to give me a little time, though. I need time to cool down enough that I can talk to you with a clear head. Of course. It just, the Swordman is such a weird character. I don't like how sharp his transitions are from like a beast to a man. It just seems odd to me. Just seems really odd. So, you are still willing to speak with me? I gave you my word. I told you I would help figure out what path you should take. You're an honorable man. I will not force your hand if you don't want to do this. You can tell me to leave and I'll walk right out that door. More than anger or hatred, I'm simply deeply pained. Maybe things would have turned out better if I were as sympathetic a man as you. People are supposed to be able to feel happy or sad for each other. I can't, though, which must make me a beast. When you first met Morgana, you felt desire to rescue her from the slave traders, did you not? You thought of someone other than yourself. I never saw that desire true, though. My thirst far overpowered anything I may have wanted to do for her. And the next time we met, I sold her to the Lord. As I said before, there is no room for interpretation in the things I've done. Whatever I might have wanted to do at one point, it's all meaningless now. Regardless, anything I do for someone else is ultimately for my own benefit. Because it's what I need. No matter how selfish your motivation may ultimately be, please let me believe some part of you does genuinely want to help her. Alright. I know, I'll sound like a hypocrite for saying this, but sitting back and waiting for her to die is not what I want. When I cut off her arm, I didn't feel any of the thrill or euphoria that I usually do when I take my sword to someone. I can't say whether that means I had conscience, but for a moment, or I just wasn't myself at the time. If you can save her though, please do. I can't do anything. If I try, I'll only make things worse. I cannot do everything on my own either. Give me a word that you will atone to Morgana for your actions. While I doubt making reparations will clear me out of my crimes, if that's what you want me to do, that is what I will do. Can I ask you something? What is it? Tell me more about my next life. I want to know what kind of man I am. I want to know every mistake I make, all the details. I warn you, it's a tale far more barbaric than anything you can imagine. Do you still want to hear it? I do. And I have little doubt that I will believe it. If you're worried I might react the same way I did earlier, I'll lay down my sword. You can tie me up too if you want. That won't be necessary. I'm going to trust you. I'll tell you the whole hopelessly tragic truth. Everything I saw with no embellishments. Please do. Well, he's gonna give him the entire second door treatment. And so, I told him the tale I witnessed beyond the second door. That he lost his memory in a shipwreck. That he was treated like a beast by the people in the land where he washed up. That he massacred countless people. And that he took the life of his lover, who had come in search of him, never wavering in her belief that he was still alive. I told him about the white-haired girl. I told him about the things he made Giselle do. I didn't hide anything. As I spoke, he would occasionally grimace or his eyes would go wide for a moment, but not once did he interrupt me. He sat there in silence until I finished. You weren't kidding. That was far worse than I had imagined. It is the truth, though. You become the target of Morgana loathing, and you are led back to this mansion. That is what lies in your future. As difficult as it may be to comprehend, That person is you. The man who does all those things hundreds of years from now is you. I really am a beast, a horrendously precarious creature. As I intercepted, when you lost your memory, you also lost everything you used to surpass your nature. You lost the foundation you had built, and as a result, you were no longer able to maintain that balance. Would that mean that what I am now is, comparatively speaking, human? No, I'm no different now. I have no more control over myself when I'm killing people than the men you described. You've seen me do reprehensible things, and in spite of that, you were never condescending or insulting, never acted disgusted or afraid of me. Are all angels as compassionate as you? I am not an angel. I was simply biting my tongue. Are you afraid of me, then? I am not afraid of you, no. What are you, then? I don't understand. I am of the belief that now is not the appropriate time for me to allow my personal feelings to influence my action. My task is to save Morgana. If I'm to be honest with you for a moment, I despise the man you are in the future, but I'm also equally frustrated at myself. You're right. The things you did were inexcusable. Inexcusable. You murdered innocents. You killed women who came searching for you. But on a personal level, what angers me the most is that you put blood on the hands of the woman I love. I know very well that, to you, it's something you haven't done yet, but it was still your soul. It tears me apart inside that I couldn't return in time to stop it. You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who wouldn't be angry to know someone they care about had received that kind of treatment. I suppose. If that's how you feel, though, aren't you interested in taking revenge on me? As I mentioned before, there are times when allowing your emotions to take the reins is the wrong course of action. This is one of those times. Seeking vengeance is the wrong thing for me to do right now. If I can eliminate Morgana's hatred, the three of your souls will be set free as well. So you're going to save me too? Yes, I am. I don't consider myself worthy of redemption, especially not after hearing about the things I will do. I'm a beast through and through, a twisted, psychopathic monster. You were conflicted though. You struggled against the creature that dwelled inside you. It's true that you found perverted joy in violence and murder, but you also found kindness, which caused a part of you to seek peace. And the same can be said of you in this time as well. If you actually were nothing but a beast, or rather nothing but a man that derived pleasure in killing, maybe then I could have truly reviled you. Then you would be irredeemable, no matter what had turned you into that. No matter how much pain and suffering had driven you to that point. But your insatiability, your constantly shifting desires, your mental frailty, all appear to me as a very human traits. Tell me, how should I live my life from here on? What is it you want most? The easiest road for me would be the one I walk now, to continue being a killer. No fighting my desires, nor resisting what's inside me. Would that be my salvation? To abandon my humanity entirely? I don't know what I should do, what I'm supposed to do. I'm at a complete loss about everything. I would like to believe that your desire to live in peace is sincere. And that's what I want for you too. It will be a more trying path, yes, because you will have to fight against your nature to stay on it. But we live in the human world. And you also have Pauline, who wants the same thing, extending her hand for you, inviting you to join her. So I encourage you to suppress your urges. Your life will not be easy for it, but I implore you to take the rocky road for your own sake and for hers. Even if it means my entire life is built on a foundation of lies? Before today, I believed it was wrong not to be true to oneself. But as I listened to you tell your story, I came to realize that maybe there are exceptions. Some things you can, and possibly should, keep locked inside you, where they can't hurt anyone else. However, I also think you have a tendency to try and act too perfect around her, both in this life and the next. You cover up so much of yourself, you become an entirely different person. You can be your conflicted, imperfect self around her. The man you are right now, lost and trying to find his way. I have little doubt she will accept that man. What you need most is restraint. I see. So tell me, do you think my future can be changed? I don't know for certain, so all I can do is speculate. But as you share the same soul, I expect any changes you make now will be reflected in your future incarnation. I have my work cut out for me then. Pauline, she believed in me. She put her faith in a beast and went out in search of him. I cannot allow myself to be the kind of monster that will murder a woman like her. I have to change. I will change the future. You can do it. When my life here comes to an end, I vow to make my next one better. Thank you for listening to me, and for giving me guidance. I can't say I'm particularly suited for the job. Knowing that my words are going to influence the direction of another's life is an unimaginable amount of pressure. I don't know, I'd say you pull it off well enough. If you ever decide to quit being an angel, you'd make a damn convincing missionary. I have no interest in being a missionary, and as I've told you, I'm not an angel. That's too bad. I joined the Church of Michelle. Don't look at me like that, I'm just kidding. Now, can I get angry at you? As I've been telling you, I'm an ordinary man. I'm not special in any way, like you seem to think I am. You're not ordinary. You're different, but not in the same way I am. I wouldn't ask any normal man to show me how to lead my life. I see. Although, what passes for normal differs from person to person, I suppose. Just as I don't think you're normal, I'm sure there are people out there who do. Perhaps. Or maybe they're just able to see my desire to be normal. Well, that's everything I have to tell you. You're going to want to talk to the Lord next, I assume. That's right. I'm going to convince him to hand over his key, and then I'm going to set Morgana free. I doubt you'll have much luck convincing him of anything, but I'll help you in any way I can. I appreciate it. I'll get him to come to supper tonight. You be there too. Okay, I'll be there. If I could ask you one favor though, could you try to arrange that for as late as possible? That should be doable. But why? There's someone else I need to speak with first. Alright, I'll do what I can. Thank you. See you this evening then. Did I lead him to the correct path? Will he actually find redemption at the end of it? No, I made the right decision. Even if he doesn't in this life, there's enough of chance that he will in his next. One left, and that's it. I'm almost there, Giselle. I've almost made it to Morgana. I've come this far. All that's left is to speak with the Lord. Well, he's the hardest one to convince. Stay focused, Michelle. The pieces I have still don't fit together yet. As Morgana told it, the Lord was a cruel man from the moment she first saw him, and he wasn't much different in the swordsman telling of events either. Are those portrayals the full picture of what kind of man he is? Will adding his perspective do anything but amplify Morgana's hatred? And if he really is exactly the man he has been made out to be, then how you explain his internal struggles from the third door? Did his core personality change with the times? Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Everyone else I've met has been fundamentally the same, though. Are you the exception? Jacopo? Morgana found joy in her life during her 3 years at the brothel. She wept about not being given the opportunity to thank them. So maybe Maria is most likely to be able to assuage Morgana animosity. I'll have to hear what she has to say. Ah, I can barely move my right arm. I can't feel my fingers at all. Alright, they're all broken. Ugh, it burns. I've managed this long, but damned if it doesn't hurt. Ah. Why must you hand out miracles for nothing? Oh my days. I know that voice. I'm looking up at someone. A woman. She's draped in a black fog, and I can't make out many details. But even through the darkness, I know immediately who she is. She's Mother. No, she's not my mother. She's, I guess, Morgana's mother? Why would you even ask such a question, Mother? We're barely holding on as it is, my dear. It's not wrong to expect a little remuneration for our services. No, Mother, it is wrong. Miracles are not to be bartered for. God, the Father, does not charge for his miracles. So why should we, when I am the only borrowing his power? Listen to me, Morgana. Every time you give someone a blessing, you're hurting yourself. If not for the miracle itself, you still deserve some degree of compensation for the pain. I know you're concerned for me, Mother, and I appreciate it very much, but I'm happy with the way things are. I'm happy to be able to help others with my Heavenly Father's power. A power you won't have much longer, my dear, if we can afford to keep ourselves fed. I'm a saint, aren't I? Yes, you're my sweet little saint. God will not forsake his saint. No matter how difficult it may get, he will always provide me a way to continue doing his work. And you're the mother of that saint, aren't you? Yes, that's right. I conceived you untainted by the hands of men. Then you must respect his will as well, Mother. It must be our highest priority. You're right. I was wrong, my dear saint. Well, we all know what happened next. Mother, you agreed with me. You said I was right. So, why are you taking money from that man? Mother looks over as a strange man shoves me into a carriage. The look in her eyes sends a chill down my spine. I see her lips moving. She doesn't actually say the words out loud, but I can make out every individual syllable. Because you're worthless to me. Oh my god. Welcome, daughter of God. You'll be performing miracles for me now. And if you cooperate, I can guarantee you live more than comfortably. Miracles are not something to be performed for one single person's benefit. What? Miracles are not magic or parlor tricks. They are a precious gift granted to me by my Father in heaven. Using his power for personal gratification is a grave sin. I will do no such thing. I entreat you to think long and hard about your action. Do away with such selfish desire and dedicate yourself to helping people. The power you have been given was bestowed upon you by the hand of God. It is not your power. He is merely allowing you to make use of it for a short time. It's actually saying me, which is interesting. Pride is a sin. Please consider how you conduct yourself. You're an ignorant, insolent child, aren't you? I bought you. You are my property. You have no right to an opinion. That is not my opinion. That is the way of the world. As God... Silence. You're not here to talk. You're here to perform miracles for me and my guests. As I have already told you, I will do no such thing. What will or will not do is my decision, not yours. The Lord says with a sickening laugh, then grabs me by the hair and knocks me to the floor. I beg him to stop, but he isn't listening to the word I say. Cheers, a saint blood and good fortune to all. I stare vaguely out at the crowd gathered for the Lord's blood feast. Every time he has guests, he throws another party, and every time he slices another part of my arms or legs open. It isn't long before there's an unsightly web of crisscrossing scars. The Lord sometimes has trouble deciding where to cut, but not out of any sense of sympathy for me. He simply thinks drawing blood from an untouched area of my body will make it more effective. The Lord strips me bare. Perhaps I'll use your stomach today, Saint. I should be able to get some nice, pure blood from there. Stop this. Can you not comprehend what you're doing is an affront to the Lord? I'm free to do as I wish with my property, saint or not. You're no different than any of my slaves. The Lord is greatly displeased with your actions. Then use your miracle power to deliver the divine punishment on me. Go on. You can do that, can't you? Your soul will be punished. You may not see the effects now, but you will pay for your sins one day. Ha! You're not as threatening as you think you are, buck-naked girl. Don't give me that look, girl. I have no interest in taking that from you. You'd be lucky to find anyone willing to lay with a girl covered in disgusting scars. All I can do is wait and endure day after day of torture and shame of the Lord searching for new places to stick his knife. My entire body, except for my face, is covered in reddish-black wounds. Man, he's truly evil in this one. Someone, anyone, help me. Get me out of here. Please, someone. O Father who art in heaven, I pray for you to lead me unto deliverance. Father, your trials, they are much too great. Oh, so sad. Jacopo is so evil in this one. His score seems to be entirely different. She's weird. Morgana. That was much clearer than the first time I saw it. Everything she felt, her struggling, her sincerity, her pain, and her voice. It felt almost as though I was the one going through it all. Ah, the Lord. I can understand why Morgana would bear such a powerful grudge against him, considering everything he did to her. Why would he do that, though? Is there some reason, some explanation for his actions? Well, I remember from the third order he wanted to save his homeland. It might be the same reason here. I'm thoroughly exhausted. Like, I've just spent the last several months having my blood drained again and again. My limbs felt like they have boulder side to them. Just trying to get my feet makes me dizzy. So cold. She's probably waiting for me by now. I should get going. I have to do this. Move, damn it. Fighting against my body attempts to succumb to gravity with every step through sheer force of will. I make my way to the courtyard. Oh, there she is, Maria. Oh, there you are. Thank God you came. Sneaking onto church ground is a bit unnerving, so if you... Are you alright? You look like you just came back from the dead. I'm fine. Thank you for coming. Now, to continue on conversation from yesterday. Whoa, slow down. Who do you think you're convincing? You look about as fine as a fucking corpse. If you're not feeling well, we can always do this some other time. And whoa, what happened to your hand? It's a minor injury. Nothing of any significance. Seriously, who do you think you're convincing, man? I can get around just fine without a few fingers. You gotta take yourself into consideration too. You can only run on raw determination for so long. And imagine how it makes me feel for a second. You asking to talk and showing up looking like that. If you want to get anything done, you gotta take care of yourself first. Head on back to your room and rest. Let's do this some other day, Kay? When you're feeling... I don't have that kind of time. Noon tomorrow. That's my deadline. I have to take care of everything before then. I know damn well what condition I'm in, but that doesn't change what I need to do. If I can't save Morgana, I can't get Giselle back. That makes it all the more important you get your rest. And when do you suggest I do that exactly? Honestly, I don't get why you're such a damn teasy. Get a hold of yourself, man. I'm plenty calm. It sure don't look it. You're already pushing yourself to the edge. I don't want to be responsible for giving you that last nudge. So quit bickering with me, get your ass back and get some rest. You don't understand the gravity of the situation. None of you do. You don't grasp how great an effect stopping what happens tomorrow will have. I have to keep moving, even if it means crawling through the dirt. If I don't, not only will I fail to make things better, Morgana's almost certainly got even worse fate in store for all of you, so long as her curse lives on. I'm the only one here who knows what awaits. So that makes you, what, a prophet or something then? Not exactly, no. But in terms of this time period, that would be the most apt description. Do you not believe me? Well, you know, that is asking a lot. That's fine, you don't have to. But at the very least, I want to believe that I genuinely believe something terrible is going to happen tomorrow if I don't do something. That, I think, I don't have time to waste. All I need you to do is tell me what you know. Could you do that for me? Assuming you actually are a prophet or whatever, why don't you just, get the hell out of town? Say, fuck, this is too much, and vanish into the night. No one gonna blame you if you do. Hell, is anyone even gonna notice you did anything if you do succeed? I'm not in it for attention or praise. I cannot sit idly by knowing what I know. Seeing what has happened and what will, knowing what Morgana went through, what she felt. I can't abandon her. Not anymore. I can't let my knowledge go to waste. Well, it is true that the mansion will continue to be wrapped in darkness so long as Morgana's curse remains in effect. And nothing can be put to rest until I do something about that. That's not my sole motivation anymore. I sincerely want to help Morgana. Giselle, is this what you meant when you told me you wanted me to save her? You seem like the kind of fellow who's always fretting about something or other. You don't know how to take it easy, do you? Though, I guess in a way, that's kind of why you can fight so hard, huh? Alright, you win. I'll talk. Anything you want to know, I'll tell you. Thank you very much. But, you sit your butt down first. Okay. Huh. Alright. Tell me of your relation with the Lord, Mario. Morgana said that? She did. She described her 3 years there as one of the brightest periods of her life. Ooh. Huh, would have thought. Damn, that's kinda really great to hear. Did she never tell you herself how she felt? She never really made much of an attempt to be part of the group. Was like she had these colossal walls all around her. I can see that. Yeah, so I always kind of felt like I never knew if I was sticking my nose in too far or not, you know? She appreciated what you and the other woman did for her. After the raid 4 years ago, she ended up in the hands of a slave trader. As she was being transported, she said this with tears in her eyes. I'm sad because I didn't get the chance to show my gratitude to people very dear to me. Well, damn. So is that, absolutely 100% exactly what she said? You're not just pulling it out of your ass, are you? Those were her exact words, yes, as hard as it may be to believe. Nah, I believe you. I'm just surprised is all. I mean, just wow, yeah. If I'd known that was how she felt, maybe I could have been a little friendlier with her. You weren't friendlier with her? Not especially. I mean, that's not to say I was cold or anything. It's just that all the girls kept a bit of a distance from her. Not because we didn't like her, but because that's what it looked like she wanted. Some distance. None of us really cut out for the caretaker gig. As much as we'd love to be some kind of mother figure for her, we just didn't have it in us. Who was closest to her? He's dead. The slave. Huh? What's this about a slave? There was a young man, a slave, who participated in the revolt at the Lord Manor who saved Morgana's life. Ah, yeah, that's the guy. He was the closest of any of us to her, or at least, he gave her the most attention. And he's 6 feet under. That's unfortunate. What can you do? People come and go. That's just the way of things. I thought that maybe if he were still alive, that would improve our chances of saving Morgana. Improve our chances? There's only way around it about it. We smash the Lord fucking skull and take his key. That's not an option. Doing that will not alleviate her hatred. Would you be willing to accompany us when we go into the observation tower? Me? Why? I want you to be there to say something to her. I'll say whatever you want me to say once you've gotten her out of the tower. Don't you think being able to hear the voice of someone she cared for when she finally set free would do more to pull her out of the darkness than anything else? That's all the more the reason it can't be me. Why not? Like I've been saying, I was never that tight with her. I kept my distance. I can't do anything, not with the reasons you've given me for why she's full of hatred. I have no other options though. You know, actually, while I doubt this will do much in the way of getting rid of her grudge, there is something I was supposed to give her but never got the chance. Oh? It's nothing special, just a rinky-dink little necklace. But if you get the chance, would you mind giving it to her? If anyone, that should come from you. It's not from me. It was supposed to be from the slave. He got it for her as a birthday present, but that was the day the brothel got raided. So yeah, that's the story. Make sure she gets it, would you? Okay, I will. Thanks, man. Well, now that's out of the way, I should split. Best of... There you are. Oh, you weren't in your room. I was worried sick. What are you two doing here? You're going to talk to the Lord tonight, right? So, there's a chance you might be able to saint the sentence free. No way am I going to miss that. That's why you're here. That, and to say goodbye. I want for them to make reparations as soon as the girl released. Do you feel the same, Nelly? If Mel told me he wants to, then I won't stop him. But he was threatened, so if it's possible, I don't think there's any need for him to rush to be punished. I don't want to lose my brother. Surely there are other ways he can atone. That's reasonable. I do feel guilty about what he was put through. It's not your fault what he did. Anyway, I'm really anxious about tonight, but I'm sure it will all turn out fine. You'll make it work, won't you, dearest Michelle? I'll do my best. Oh, come on, you've gotta act confident. Take care of my Mel for me, too. He's very fragile, so handle him with care. Like a big old box of china. Is he really that fragile? As for me, if he looks like he's going to do anything he shouldn't, would you stop him for me? I wish I could be there to do it myself, but well, he insists only the people directly involved should be there, and I want to respect that. I was never going to allow anyone to get hurt anyway. That's good, thank you. He and the Lord may have caused the girl a great deal of pain, but I still don't want anyone to get hurt. Some people deserve it, and I say let them have it. Now, Maria, don't be like that. You're the weird one, little Miss Perfect. Go around letting everyone off the hook for everything, and the whole damn world gonna come falling down around you. He did what he did for me, though. And the Lord, he's only in it for his own profit. Much as he says it benefits the city, it still comes back around to his own pockets. The Lord's not a bad man, though. Yeah, I've heard it 1,000 times. No one's a bad person in your eyes, I know. Now, can we please try to keep things civil? Ah, yes, sorry. Bad habit, I know. I talk a lot of rot, but I don't really mean half of it. I do think he's much better than the old Lord, though. What? Hold on a second. What did you just say? He's better than the old... When did the current Lord take his place? 4 years ago? What? Morgana was 9 years old when she was at the Lord Manor. 7 years ago. Oh my... Wait, what? Maria, were you ever at the Lord Manor any time years ago? Nah, I was never hired by anyone there. Then when? She didn't have any interaction with the Lord 7 years ago. Now it all makes sense. How did I not consider this possibility sooner? I know what kind of man he is, and I know the people he had around him. Maria, is the slave actually dead? Wait, what? You'd better have a damn good reason for this. But what the hell? I came because you said you had something important to discuss. No care to tell me who the hell is the white-haired man and what he's doing here? You neglected to mention we'd be having company. I'm the one who asked him to arrange this meeting with you. And who the hell would you be? He's an angel. Or a prophet. What? Did you both finally snap under the pressure? I'll leave it for you to decide what you think I am. I will say, though, that I know everything. I know you got a girl imprisoned in the observation tower, and I know you're taking her blood and calling it medicine, passing it out at the church. Which one of you squealed? No one told him anything, he just knew. He knows everything, including my deepest desires and what happens in my next life. He's probably peering into your soul at this very moment. You completely lost it, I see. Well, how you got your information doesn't matter. All I need to know is this. What are you hoping to gain from it? Wealth? My downfall? What? Morgana's freedom. I want you to give me your key. And then I want you to tell me your story. I've come here from the future, from the world after Morgana's death. Her soul curses with hatred for the three of you, and she placed a curse of eternal suffering on your souls. Has everyone at this damn table gone mad? Did you seriously think I would believe that nonsense? Don't interrupt me. My objective is not so much to rescue Morgana's physical form from the tower, but to save her soul from an eternity of loathing. I can't achieve that on my own, however, because I'm not from this time. I have no direct interaction with her or anyone else until here just recently. In order to make her have a change of heart, I need to gather the truth from her, the people who are from this time. And I suspect that you hold the last piece of the puzzle. Wow, the biggest piece. Well, it's good to know he wasn't the one abusing her and cutting her because she was at Lord Manor 7 years ago, and this isn't him, this is the new Lord, so it makes total sense now that this is Jacopo. Question is, why she put a curse on him? I guess because he still locked her up? Well, it makes sense, actually. That you have far deeper connection with Morgana than anyone else here. No, I'm all but certain of it now. Your perspective is a crucial accomplishment to accomplishing my goal. Tell me your whole story, please. How you ended up capturing and imprisoning Morgana. What you thought and felt along the way. Your truth will get through to her, I know. That will be the turning point in all this. Her curse will be no more, and you will be returned to the path you were meant to walk. Everyone will have their salvation. Someone throw this madman out. I won't do it. Neither will I. Damn you worthless curs. Lord, I'll call the guards then. Who do you think I am exactly? I am the lord of this land. Under ordinary circumstances, I never so much as disdain to speak with you, lowly peasant. Now get out of my sight. or I'll take it as an act of aggression and you'll find yourself without a head. In this room right now, you're not alone. You're a lone man. Until you hand over your key, we're not letting you leave. And you'll find there aren't any guards for you to call. You're all alone on this estate. Your preoccupation with staying out of sight played right into our hands. Accept your defeat, Lord. We've already agreed to set the witch free. Cowardly worms. Ironic coming from you. Huh. I didn't think you'd turn cold quite so eagerly. The nun and your kid sister are in on it too, I take it. We were only working for you. We never felt any sort of allegiance to you. Loyalty funded on what one has to gain or lose is far more resilient than uncertain, fluctuating feelings. But it would appear this white-haired man shattered that foundation, huh? How long you have been colliding with them, Kerr? I arrived in this era 2 days ago. What? 2 days? In just 2 days you got these worms dancing for you. They are not dancing for me. I merely spoke with them, and they listen. You're a disturbed man. You couldn't possibly have won these two over in mere 2 days. He's no ordinary man. As we've said, he knew everything. While I was talking to him, it felt like he was looking directly into my soul. He's definitely an unusual one, yeah. It felt like he'd known me my whole life, even though he just showed up out of nowhere 2 days ago. I didn't believe what he was saying at first, but he knew things he couldn't possibly know. My secret wish, something I never told anyone before. I don't know what kind of tricks you're playing, but now I know why I've never seen you around. If you'd been lurking around the city for longer, sticking your nose where it didn't belong, I would have taken notice sooner or later. Huh, I'm impressed. In only 2 days, you managed to convince them both to betray me and set me up. I am indeed the one in charge of this operation, so if it's the witch you're after, I'm the obvious target, yes. And the 2 dogs there surely have some pent-up rage. So I take it you're going to tie me up, then torture me until I tell you what you want to know? That's not a bad idea. What do you say? Give me the word, and he'd be in ropes. Wait, we agreed we aren't getting rough. I have no interest in solving this problem with violence. We are here to uncover the truth. We needed an exchange of blows, only words. Oh, I love this. I love the way he said it. Anyway, if we were going to beat it out of him, we would have done it so as soon as he walked through the door. We discussed this beforehand. We're only talking. No one's getting into any fights, physically or verbally. That's right. Well, it looks like I've got no way out, so you've got me. I surrender. Take my key. Go open the tower doors. What? That was easier than expected. Your key is not important right now. Your perspective is what I seek. Why did you make it so the lock required 3 keys? 1 person is more than adequate for the job, so I split it 3 ways. Is that any of your concern, Kerr? Was it because it was too much weight to bear alone? You didn't actually want to imprison Morgana, did you? Something, somewhere, went wrong. You backed yourself into a corner and couldn't escape. I'm done listening to you. Am I right or am I wrong, Lord? Or should I say, Jacopo? Ooh, you hit him with a name drop. Jacopo? But isn't his name Jean-Francois Barnier? That's Lord Barnier too, you insolent child. You seem to be quite confused. I am the son of the House of Barnier, which means I'm royalty. No, you're not. He knows. He's from a low life. From low family status, I mean. I don't know how you came to start calling yourself Barnier, but that's not a drop of royal blood flowing through your veins. Ooh. The slave revolt at the Lord Manor 7 years ago. Wait, was he the slave? You were there, weren't you? During the last revolt, you helped... No way! Massive twist. Oh my days. During the revolt, you helped Morgana escape. That's right, you saved her life once. That was you. You're the slave from 7 years ago. Slave? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Me? A slave? Like hell, a former slave could become royalty. You did it though. You went from slave to lord. Enough! I don't know who's filling that white-haired head of yours with this drivel, but I'm done listening to it. Say another word and I'll throttle you myself. Keep slandering my name, I dare you. Maria told me the slave from back there was dead. She didn't mean it literally though. She meant he wasn't who he used to be anymore. Maria, you'd be talking to her too. Because she was afraid if Morgana found out, it would only serve to throw her deeper into despair. The man who had once saved her was now responsible for keeping her imprisoned. That is the sickest twist I've ever seen. Oh my god, he was actually the kindest man that actually saved her and he locked her up. Do your ears not work, Kerr? I said I had enough. I need your perspective. There's more to the story, I'm certain of it. I refuse to believe you acted only for your own benefit, only to cause her pain. If you want the key so damn badly, then take it. Set the witch free, I don't give a damn. But if you say another word, I'll rip your fucking tongue out. Again, the key is not what I need right now. I need your story. Are you deaf or just an imbecile? Your perspective is crucial to saving Morgana's soul. Enough! When you were a slave, you helped Morgana escape from the Lord. Silence. And you spent the next 3 years with her. Just one more fucking word, I swear to God. So how did you end up here? How did a boy from 7 years ago go from saving her to locking her up and stealing her blood? There's no excusing your action, no. But please, I need you to tell me how you got to this point. Enough! Michelle! The next thing I see is a dagger in his hand, pointing at me. I reflexively try to push myself out of the path of his charge with my dominant hand, which sent a jolt of excruciating pain up my right arm. I'll rip your fucking head off. The Lord swings his arm up, and the necklace spills from my pocket, making a metallic clink as it hits the floor. When he sees it, his eyes go wide for a brief moment. Of course, I'm just as slack-jawed as him. What the hell is going on? Why? How? Why am I looking at a familiar cloud of inky blank darkness? There's no one to answer my question though, and no time to think about it either. I have to make a decision right now. Okay, let's save. The Lord, dagger raised, is quickly approaching. Off to the side, the cloud of darkness is expanding. I reach into the darkness. I reach my hand into the darkness spreading from the necklace. And as soon as I do... What the hell is this? What's that black stuff? What's going on? The blackness swells, consuming us all. No, stop that. What is this? Don't make me watch this. His shouts fade into the distance, and my mind and body are swallowed up entirely. It's the same thing that happens whenever Gisela and I open a door. The same darkness I've gazed into again and again and again in that cursed mansion. That house that exists outside reality, far, far off into the distance. I can see a gentle light, like a hole ripped out of the darkness. Green grass and colorful flowers rustling in the wind. I don't understand. The darkness, it was never present in the past. It was, I thought, a phenomenon restricted to the realm of the dead. So what is it doing here? But even my questions are, in short order, swallowed up by the void. Soon, my body ceases to retain its form, leaving only my consciousness to view the sights, sound, and emotions of someone past. I became an observer. as I have many times before. Wait, so we all got sucked into someone's story, which I guess is Jacopo's story? That is that is actually sick. I'm staring into a pair of ruby red eyes, open wide with shock. I recall snapping at him, insulting him, but I don't remember what I said. Nor do I remember how he responded. All I know is that a wave of churning blackness appeared out of nowhere, washing me away. I'm powerless, helpless, hopeless. My young mind sucked into it like a whirlpool. Young? My young mind? Oh, for Christ's sake. You have got to be kidding me. Why, for the love of God, why am I being made to look back at this part of my life? The miserable, stupid fucking romantic I was once. What I once was. Why am I turning back into the boy I tried so hard to forget? Where did this absurd black smoke come from, and why can't I get out of it? If it's that white-haired man who's doing this to me, then he's not an angel or a prophet. He's the goddamn devil himself. But all my questions, my confusion, my frustrations, everything that composes my present is superseded, superseded by the darkness, suppressed, wisping away into nothing. So we're seeing Jacopo perspective. Oh my, oh my God, that was a lovely picture. Why did it fade so quickly? To be blunt, the world's a small place. There's an unimaginable amount of it out there, but you only ever get to see a minuscule fraction of that. And that goes doubtly, so for us, the poor barely get the chance to see any of it all. And those who were born into affluence, well, they have no idea just how small our world really is. I never yearned for a world outside what I knew. I more coveted, a splash of spite mixed in. I wanted to claw my way up the mountain, knock all the bastards down who had never seen what it was like at the bottom. If I made it high enough, I could do anything. I would have complete freedom. Oh man, that actually kind of sucks. It's the same thing as the third door. He's a man that has an ambition so high he burned it all. It's actually the same. If that sounds like a childish fantasy to you, well, you'd be right. That's exactly what it was. There you are. You spent so much time in the graveyard that one of these days, someone's going to think you're a gravekeeper. Or maybe a grave robber. I can understand a gravekeeper, but I take offense that the suggestion I look like a grave robber. I'm praying for the souls who have no one to see them off. The girl, named Morgana, turned around to face me. Though I'd known her for some time, I rarely ever looked her in the eyes. Her face was almost always concealed beneath a dark hood, revealing only the tip of her nose, and sometimes her lips. Honestly, I don't get it. Why would you care so much? We care so much. These are souls that have no one else to pray for them. At best, they may get a bit of lip service from a priest once or twice. It's our responsibility to offer a helping hand to the sick and poor, to pray for the abandoned souls. What I don't get is why you need to pray for the dead at all. They're just bag of bones. I hope you enjoy an eternity in hell, blasphemer. Hey, that was uncalled for. I'm just joking, obviously. You take black humor to a new level. Morgana gave me a curt shrug, then turned away. She never faced anyone head-on for very long, and she had a perfectly good reason for it. It wasn't because she disliked me or anything. I don't think. Anyway. About 3 years earlier, something had happened that had caused large patches of flesh to fall off her face. Supposedly, she had looked fine before then, but I only knew her as she was at that time. The rest of her body was covered in wounds as well, but applying ointment to them had reduced the scarring significantly. Her face, though, showed no signs of recovering. A close friend of mine, a prostitute, said she thought it might be a psychological thing, but regardless, I continued applying ointment to Morgana's face. Hey, come on, don't turn away from me. I know you can hear me. I brought ointment So let me put it on. Let me put it on you. By the way, let's see the picture here. I can't really tell what it says. It's a waste of time. You didn't know that. Your arms looks much better than before. It won't be long before your face starts healing too. The ointment isn't free. You're wasting your money. It's my money. I can use it however I please. So just shut up and let me do this. You're a very obnoxious man, you know. What was that? You want me to rub it in real hard, huh? Fine. With a forlorn graveyard as the backdrop, a young man applied salve to a girl's raw, exposed flesh. It was quite possibly the least romantic sight in the world. I would have, at the very least, preferred a somewhat more pleasant location. As the thought fluttered through my mind, I let out a defeated laugh, and I could soon feel her glaring at me. Morgana could be a bit standoffish, but honestly, I didn't mind. For her, this was actually quite sociable, in fact. When I first met her, she didn't act her age at all, but now she was starting to show signs of the 12-year-old girl hidden inside. 3 years prior, when I met Morgana, she had been the victim of an unspeakable abuse at the hand of the Lord. I didn't know why he had done those things to her, and I didn't ask either, because I knew doing so would only reopen old wounds. All I knew was that the Lord was so far gone as a human being as to brutally torture a 9-year-old girl. At the time, the only thing that ever seemed to come out of her mouth was the word of God. Everything she said or did was ostensibly for the benefit of others, but it felt to me more like she was acting out of some sort of sense of duty rather than genuine concern. Honorable, but ultimately hollow. I much prefer this Morgana, even if she could be a bit jaded. What are you hoping to get out of repairing my face? I'm not trying to get anything. I just want you to heal up. And here I thought you were going to try and make me work at a brothel. How many times do I have to tell you? I'm not going to make you a prostitute. What other reason could you have for wanting my face to get better? Because I want to see it. Isn't that enough? Just so we're clear, that wasn't me hating on you, okay? The thought never occurred to me. She fell quiet, sitting there motionless as I rubbed ointment into her face. Her skin beneath my thumb was rough and unpleasant to the touch, and honestly, rather stomach-turning. It was hard to imagine her face would ever heal. What I said about wanting to see her face was true. But what I wanted more than anything was for her to be able to live a relatively normal life. I hope you're prepared to be let down if I ever do heal. That possibility is just part of the fun. You have as much tact as a worm. No tact and bad taste. I'm a real winner. It's a wonder no one throttled you in your sleep. Being a guy, of course, I would have been pleased if she turned out pretty with her face healed. But her life was guaranteed to be easier than now, no matter what she looked like. That was what really mattered ultimately. I could only imagine how hard it was to have your life turned completely upside down at the age of 9. A large portion of us in the slums had our share of misfortune, but hardly any of them stacked up to what Morgana had to bear. She had no parents. When I asked her about her mother, she'd gotten cagey with me, so I assumed she'd been sold off. When I asked about her father, though, she just pointed up at the sky, which I took to mean he was dead. A young girl, no family, sent off all on her own to some strange land somewhere along the line, ending up in a Lord Cruel grasp. Misfortune felt like an understatement, if anything. That said, it wasn't just out of pity I gave Morgana so much my attention. The other reason, though, well, she'd probably go running if I told her. Hell, I want her to hit myself. I want to hit myself over the head. I'll still be your friend, even if you turn out to be the ugliest girl in the city. You should be grateful. How is it you haven't managed to chase off everyone in your life yet? I act like a decent guy around other people. Do my best to fit in. Then, why are you such a dolt around me? Just doing my best to fit in. So you're saying this is my fault? Everyone could use a thorn or two. Makes him more exciting. You especially. Okay, that should be everything. Does it sting anywhere? Not particularly, no. Alright. Oh, also finish up here and get back to Maria soon. Unless you'd rather I drag you there. Why? Seriously, it's your damned birthday, that's why. And? What do you think, dimwit? She wants to celebrate. Get back there soon, okay? I'm planning to drop by 2. By 2. Okay, okay. She gave a sheepish nod, which I was honestly kind of cute. But of course, I couldn't say that. So I shrugged my shoulder, feigning expression, and then turned to leave. Once, I might have offered to accompany her back into the brothel, but Morgana never seemed too keen on the idea of walking anywhere with me. Maybe she was afraid of grown men after what happened to her at the Lord Manor. Or maybe she just didn't want me to be seen with someone who looked like her. So, hey, huh? I thought you were leaving? One day, I'll show you the world. I won't get my hopes up. Get your hopes up, damn it, I said with a soft chuckle, and then I took my leave. I had every intention of making good on that promise, and I had more than enough reason to believe I could. 3 years back, there was a slave revolt at the Lord Manor. That's not quite accurate though, because while I was partially responsible for inciting the riot, I wasn't actually a slave. The local lord was spoken of, in whispers, as the second coming of the great tyrant of old. The people were constantly grumbling about how he seemed to treat the land like his own personal playground, exploiting everything and everyone on it for his own amusement. When enough stress and resentment build up in a contained space, all it takes is a little shove from the outside to burst. And that was our plan. Me and a number of other dissatisfied citizens gathered together to pop that bubble and give the Lord a taste of how we felt about him. With the help of a slave trader, I infiltrated the Lord Manor. I'd known slaves that weren't treated well, but seeing it for myself, I thought most of these people would have been happier having been born as a dog or a cat and owned by someone who actually had a heart. It was revolting, a flagrant injustice. Broadly speaking, there are two types of people who see injustice in the world. The first are those who have everything, who sit unchallenged at the top of the world, looking down on the less fortunate with pity. The second are those with nothing, who wish to overthrow the entire system keeping them down. It should come as no surprise that I fell in the second camp. Once I was inside, I went around the manor telling all the slaves about our plan. Most of them had long since lost the will to fight, but with enough assurance there were people on the outside ready and waiting to help. Glimmers of hope started to return to their eyes. Finding out they weren't alone, that they weren't helpless anymore, had an incredible effect on their morale. And once the slaves were convinced, the revolt began. It ended up being much larger in scale than I had imagined, and many lost their lives in the process, but the majority of them managed to escape. Naturally, the slaves couldn't stay in the city, so I directed them to people waiting outside who would take them to another city or a neighboring country. I had neither the money nor the power to guarantee them a good life on the outside, but that hardly mattered to them. Everyone was sure that wherever they ended up would be better than staying, and I prayed that would be the case. It was during the revolt that I saved Morgana. I would have sent her off somewhere else like all the other slaves, but she was in so dire a condition when I found her that she could hardly even move her own. She had been sapped of all of her willpower. So I brought her to the brothel where a friend of mine worked and asked her to take Morgana in. My companions and I reveled in the revolt's success. It wasn't enough of an accomplishment to have any real political implication, but we still felt like heroes. Drunk on victory, we started talking about going bigger, starting a full-on revolution. Once the elation passed, though, we realized there wasn't much more we can do. Even if we did manage to start a large enough uprising to kill the Lord, we were only peasants. Not only did we not know the first thing about ruling, the other counts would never acknowledge our authority anyway. We'd pretend to be in control until the next in line showed up, and that would be the end of that. So we just ended up sitting on our thumbs, no way of doing anything about our discontent. Skip forward to about a month before Morgana's birthday. One day, a middle-aged woman approached me. I had never met her before, but she had a wavy hair that reminded me a great deal of my own. Looking me straight in the eye, the woman said, "I was once a maidservant for the Barnier estate. They're done their best to keep it secret, but I had a child with the previous lord, and that child is you." The revelation came completely out of the blue. According to her, I had royal blood, and if you could convince the lord of that, I would become royalty. Furthermore, she was my alleged mother, could turn to her old life at the manor. Oh, she wanted to return. The woman urged me to take action, to meet the lord, reveal my lineage, and reclaim my rightful place at the Barnier house. I would no longer be poor peasant living in the slums. I would have a comfortable life. I obviously wasn't going to agree on the spot. Her story was so blatantly dubious, I needed some time to think on it. If she was telling the truth, though, it could transform our revolution from a dream into reality. We wouldn't be restricted to inciting inconsequential uprising. I could seize power legitimately and make some actual change. So I asked the woman to give me some time to consider. "Have you decided what you're going to give her?" That was the very first thing I heard when I stepped through the back door of the brothel. Maria, a short blonde-haired prostitute and good friend of mine, flashed me a devilish smirk. "I bought a necklace, as per your suggestion. Girls appreciate that sort of thing, don't they?" "Most do. Me? I've got a test for knives and other such pointy things." "I doubt she has much interest in those, though. Sometimes I wonder if you're actually a girl." Anyone could see that Maria and I were close, but our relationship was strictly platonic. Of course, given her line of work, it was unavoidable that people thought otherwise. And honestly, it irritated me every time someone suggested we were anything more than friends. People have this annoying, short-sighted tendency to assume that just because a guy and a girl are friendly, they must be intimate. It didn't matter that she was a girl, I only thought of her as a friend. And as best as I could tell, that's all she thought of me as well. Maria and I first met when we were children. Even at that age, she was already a prostitute, myself a petty thief. We were both incredibly lucky to have survived to adulthood with only ourselves to watch each other's backs. It's possible the only reason either of us maintained the willpower to survive this long was because we had each other to bitch about life when things got bad. "So, is today the day? Are you finally gonna tell her how you feel?" "Excuse me?" "Tell her what?" "Don't be coy. You know exactly what. And it's about time you manned up and told her. I think you've got a better chance than you think." "Do I need to remind you how old she is?" 12, as today. Practically an adult. Whoa. I was knee-deep in dick at that age. Oh my god. I almost didn't want to read that. "You're comparing her to you?" The longer you hold off saying something, the more difficult it becomes. "Break a leg. Party's gonna be in the back, so there won't be any customers around to interfere." Alright. I chewed over what Maria had said, and as I watched her disappear down a brothel corridor. She wasn't wrong. She wasn't overanalyzing. I did, indeed, have a special feeling for Morgana. Women seem to have this strange, somewhat terrifying ability to read people's mind. And Maria was a prime example of that. I had never once so much as suggested to anyone I might think anything of Morgana, but Maria had somehow managed to pick up on it almost immediately. Fortunately, she didn't seem particularly bothered by the fact, though if anyone else were to find out, I could only imagine the looks I would get. I mean, Morgana was 12, and I was 22. Dude, that's sus. That wasn't normal. I never felt this way about anyone else that young either. Any other girl Morgana's age just looked like another kid to me, so why was she any different? She was covered in scars, and every time we met, she would tell me to go to hell, and she refused to walk anywhere with me. And no matter how much ice I broke, I could never seem to get all the way through. Yet still, the world felt like it was just a little bit better a place when I was with her. It made me want to see her smile, no matter how grotesque her face. How would I even go about saying it, assuming I actually did it? Even if your face still isn't healed in 4 years, I'll take you as my lifetime partner, Morgana. God, no, that's terrible. There has to be a better way to put it. Now, I was getting stressed out, and it was all thanks to Maria. This was supposed to be a day of celebration, not fretting over stupid personal matters. Not long after I arrived at the brothel and made my way to the back room, Maria and a handful of other unoccupied girls showed up. Morgana, who was supposed to be the guest of honor, was even more reticent than usual. The prostitutes chatted among themselves about work in unabashedly graphic detail, trading info on which customers were good and which customers were bad. All the while Morgana looking incredibly uncomfortable. You guys think you could maybe change the subject? Like we have anything else to talk about? Making the birthday girl want to hide in a corner defeats the whole purpose, don't you think? Oh no, don't mind me. I don't have anything I want to talk about. Morgana said almost in a whisper, her head downturned. At least eat something then. The cookies are barely sweet and dry as rocks, but they're edible. Jacopo, you little bitch. You've got some stones to shit off my cookies to my face. Stop it, Maria. Stop throwing things at me. The other girls cackled and Maria and I bickered. Hoping it might have elicited a reaction from Morgana as well, I snuck a glance over at her, but she remained expressionless. You're right about one thing though. This is Morgana's day, so let's change the subject. Maria said with a little laugh, having hurled everything within arm's reach at me. Like I said, I don't have anything to talk about. Sure you do, you just have to look a little harder. I'm not saying you have to reminisce for us, but it can be anything. Let's see. Here's an idea. Are there any guys you got your eyes on? I spewed my tea all over the table. There is. And then I started choking. What? Seriously? Holy shit. Who is it? Tell me, who's the lucky guy? God. Everyone fell silent. Maria gave me a sympathetic look, and I knew exactly what she wanted me to say. Sorry, kid. You ain't got nothing on God. Asshole. If you're gonna dream big, right? Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Pining after the all-powerful, all-knowing God. I'm with you. You bold-faced liar. The grass may be a hell of a lot greener up there, but it's a bit far, don't you think? You're better off settling for the weeds down here. Did she just imply I'm a weed? Maria looked over and gave me a wide grin at the sight of me grinning my teeth and continued. Say, the young man over. Wait, stop that right there. Don't say another word. Whoopsie, me and my big mouth. I almost did your job for you. God damn it, Maria. This was no good. Like hell I was going to let her corner me into saying it here. I stole a glance at Morgana, but her gaze was locked on her knees. I couldn't see what, if any, kind of reaction she was having. Morgana, what she was trying to say is that I have to go. What? I have to go to the bathroom. Sure. Morgana got up from her chair and left the room in silence. I imagine I was making a rather flaccid expression, because as soon as Morgana was gone, Maria began cackling like a mad woman. My reply was the nearest object, courtesy of my throwing arm. Loser! How hard is it just to say it? It would have been easier if you hadn't cornered me like that. You think I believe you would have done it without a little nudge? I would have. Eventually. Eventually ain't gonna cut it. Now's the right time. And don't worry me about the girls. I won't make fun of you for getting your rocks off to little girls. Okay. That's not the reason I like her. Besides, I would wait at least 4 years before. Doesn't mean you can't tell her now. I think it'd do her wonders, really. She's, well, you know. So I think knowing someone cares about her lightened the load a bit. When she comes back, give her the necklace and tell her how you feel. And if she turns you down, we can all have a good laugh about it. Maria and a few other girls chuckled, and uncomfortable as she was making me feel, she had a point. Regardless of whether Morgana reciprocated my feelings or not, there was a good chance that just putting them out there would help in breaking down the walls she had built in her heart. And maybe one day, I would actually be able to see her smile. I'll do it. I'll tell her. It didn't matter if I came out looking like a loser. It didn't matter if Morgana wasn't interested in me that way. What mattered was she knew someone accepted her, regardless of her appearance or the things she had been through. And if, by some chance, there really was royal blood flowing through my veins, then I could make good on my promise to show her the world. I could put an end to her life of poverty and abuse, replace it with one of comfort and wealth. I could buy her even better medicine, something that could actually heal her face. If I truly were royalty, I could do so much more for her. Make it sound like I want to be some kind of fairy tale hero or something. But honestly, I wouldn't have minded that. If I was going to make her happy, to wipe away all her past misfortune, why couldn't I make it a little dramatic? It wasn't actually usually my style, but in this case, I wouldn't have objected to a storybook ending. And that will be all for today's video, and wow, what a massive plot twist. I can't believe that Jacopo was actually the slave that saved Morgana and took care of her at that brothel. That is crazy, because he is the one that ended up putting her in chains. So what happened? I really dying to continue, but I went for so long now, and I really have to call it for this session. But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to continue full blast, and I really am going to... oh my god, like, I can't wait. I really want to know why Jacopo became this way, what events transpired to make him become the filthy man he is now. But clearly, there's still part human in him, because he's so afraid to face his own real emotions that he was absolutely terrified when he was sucked into this black void, or whatever it was, when he saw the necklace. So I'm also really I'm dying to know, like, what happened with the necklace, like how they all got sucked into seeing this vision. But yeah, I'll guess everything will happen down the line, but that's all for now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.